This is the immediate reality of economic shock therapy. The sudden removal of fuel subsidies has sent prices climbing and protesters into the streets. With the floating of the naira, the currency's value has become a moving target. For everyday citizens, the result is a severe daily squeeze on their basic purchasing power. President Bola Tinubu argues these measures were the only way forward. He claims that when he assumed office in May 2023, the nation was already standing on the precipice of fiscal collapse. The administration's defense is consistent. The previous government left behind an illusion of prosperity built on borrowed money and unsustainable spending, making these painful reforms unavoidable. Blaming a predecessor is a reliable political survival tactic. It works as long as the public doesn't look too closely at the historical records. Nigeria's political leadership is currently facing a scenario that mirrors a corporate board under a forensic bankruptcy audit. In any audit, the fundamental rule is that legal and financial responsibility does not magically reset the moment new management takes the keys. An auditor has to look backward to identify who controlled the books, who approved the budgets, and who supervised the policies that led to the decline. This creates a problem for the current narrative. A recovery plan loses its logic when the new management and the old management turn out to be the exact same people. The former administration did not govern in a vacuum. They were part of a specific political ecosystem that has been in place for years. The National Economic Council serves as the highest policy-making body in the country. During the previous term, the person chairing that council held primary responsibility for the nation's economic direction. That chair was Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, a leading member of the current president's own political family. This political movement held uninterrupted control over the federal government, the presidency, and the National Economic Council from 2015 to 2023. It was a unified front, one party directing the very policies that are now being blamed for the current wreckage. But even within a party, there is a center of gravity. One figure served as the national leader, founder, and primary influence over the APC throughout this entire period. That leader was, of course, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Government officials today speak as if they discovered the economic damage only after winning an election against their own party. In sociology, a scapegoat allows an establishment to project its failures onto a single figure. By isolating one person, the rest of the group is shielded from accountability. In the film Schindler's List, an SS commandant demands to know who stole a chicken. When no one confesses, he randomly shoots a prisoner. A terrified boy then points to the dead man and identifies him as the thief. The commandant simply accepts the explanation and casually moves on. The accused is permanently unable to defend himself. The matter is closed, and the authority figure's narrative remains unquestioned. Former President Muhammadu Buhari has become the administration's designated chicken thief. Every economic difficulty is traced back to his desk, while the actors who designed and defended those policies remain in power. But the accounting records are still available, and the principal actors are still alive. Unlike the movie, this scapegoat strategy is vulnerable to the facts. Investigating political accountability is not an argument against the reforms themselves. Subsidy removal and exchange rate unification may have been entirely necessary to save the country from bankruptcy. The issue is a deficit of accountability. A government cannot spend years praising its own stewardship while in office, only to inherit power from itself and claim it is rescuing the country from a catastrophe it helped build. Maintaining a distinction between we and they is impossible when the political establishment hasn't changed. As economic hardships continue, the public's tolerance for this version of history will likely evaporate. People will eventually stop looking for individual scapegoats to blame for the crisis. Nigerians will stop asking who stole the chicken, and they will start asking who owned the farm.